All right, buckle up, everyone, because today we are diving deep into the heart of Azeroth. Specifically, we're tackling a topic that's got the WoW community all riled up.
Oh yeah, the forums are buzzing.
You got that right. Our listener is throwing down the gauntlet, wondering why those notorious goblin cartels, you know the ones, infamous for backstabbing and undercutting.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, they seem to be playing nice these days, and let's just say not everyone's buying it.
Yeah, it's definitely raised a few eyebrows. I mean, goblins and peace. It's not exactly a combo you see every day.
It's like finding a gnome who hates tinkering. So let's set the stage here for anyone who might not be knee-deep in goblin lore.
Right.
Imagine, picture this. Wall Street, but like on a massive dose of crazy, right? Add in a dash of Mad Max for good measure, explosions galore, and you're starting to get the picture.
Oh yeah, that's our goblins.
You've got these different cartels like the Steamweedle Cartel, Ventrico, all vying for power and profit.
Constant power struggle.
Oh, absolutely. Backstabbing's practically a business tactic in their world.
It's their way of saying good morning.
So enter our forum friend, Stakes, who's basically like, hold up, something's fishy here. They're pointing fingers at Gazlowe,
Ah, Gazlowe, yeah.
big player, Bilgewater Cartel, and his, let's call it relaxed reaction to another goblin leader, Gallywix.
Gallywix, yeah, he's always up to something.
Oh, always. See, Gallywix pretty much orchestrates this whole power play, bumps off Laszlo, the goblin Gazlowe put in charge of the Undermine, and takes over the Kaja Coast.
Prime real estate, that Kaja Coast.
Oh, absolutely. And Gazlowe's response pretty much shrugs and says, let's move on. Stakes is like, where's the outrage? Where's the goblin fury? Where's the revenge plot?
It does seem a little out of character for any goblin, really.
Right, and Stakes is connecting this to like a bigger trend they're seeing.
Okay, I'm listening.
They're saying Blizzard, the game devs, are making all the good guys kind of bland, you know, like everyone's lost their edge.
Losing that unique flavor, huh?
Exactly. So it's not just about goblins suddenly joining a meditation retreat.
Right.
It's about this feeling that the characters overall are missing that depth, that, you know, the good old conflict that makes things exciting.
Yeah, that clash of personalities makes the world feel alive.
Exactly. So Stakes is saying, hey, this lack of conflict, it's making the WoW universe feel, well, kind of fake.
Like it's lost its believability.
Right. But the big question is Stakes alone in this? Or are other players out there feeling the same way?
Oh, trust me, there are always multiple sides to every story of the WoW community.
All right, so spill the tea. What are the other players saying?
Well, we've got Bertarion. They're coming in hot, defending Blizzard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're saying, hold on, Gazlowe's not just sitting there twiddling his thumbs. They point out that he actually does take action against Gallywix.
Oh. So there's a secret revenge plot brewing.
Well, more like subtle sabotage. Bertarion's argument is that Gazlowe's playing the long game, working behind the scenes to undermine Gallywix's operation on the Kaja Coast.
Ooh, sneaky. So maybe Gazlowe's not so passive after all. It's more like he's learned that sometimes the best revenge is, well, profitable.
Exactly. Remember, goblins are all about opportunity. They'll choose the path that leads to the biggest payoff, even if it means delaying gratification.
So while Gallywix is out there, you know, being the loud, boisterous goblin we all know and love.
Oh, absolutely.
Gazlowe's over here playing 40 chess, making moves we might not even see coming.
It's that classic goblin cutting, just with a more refined approach.
Okay, I'm starting to see their point. But what about the other players? Any more dissenting voices?
Oh, yeah, we've got Perony, and they bring a fascinating comparison to the table.
Lay it on me.
Let's talk about the Ferengi from Star Trek. Deep Space Nine. Remember them? Initially, they were all about greed, pure and simple. But over time, they developed this, well, more complex culture.
Hold on, you're saying goblins are going Ferengi on us, developing a moral compass. Next, they'll be opening orphanages.
Not quite. But Perony's suggesting that Blizzard might be taking a page from the Ferengi playbook, showing that even the most profit-driven creatures can evolve.
So maybe all those explosions were just a phase? A teenage rebellion against the rules of the universe?
Maybe. But the point is, there might be more to this goblin shift than meets the eye.
Okay, I'm intrigued. We've got Gazlowe as a mastermind strategist, goblins channeling their inner Ferengi.
It's getting interesting.
What else is brewing in this forum thread?
Well, one user, Big Phil, they drop a pretty big hint.
Oh, do tell.
They recommend checking out a video by Platinum WoW, you know, the lore master.
Well, yeah, Platinum WoW, but they always get down to the nitty-gritty.
Exactly. And Big Fell implies that this video holds the key to understanding the goblins' seemingly contradictory behavior.
Sounds like we've got some homework to do. But before we get lost in the depths of YouTube, what else is happening in this forum? Anything else we should be aware of?
Oh, there's always something cooking in the WoW community.
All right, hit me with it.
Well, Kimlin, they chime in with a list of internal conflicts that characters are supposedly having, but it's all very tongue-in-cheek, poking fun at the writing a bit.
Oh, give me an example. I love a good dose of player humor.
Okay, they say something like Thrall battling himself, Anduin battling his past, and Jaina battling anyone who even slightly annoys her.
Oh, that's pretty good. Sounds like Kimlin's saying some of these character arcs are getting a little predictable.
Yeah, like we can see the plot twists coming a mile away.
Right. So even though it's a joke, they're raising a valid point. Players want to see those struggles, those internal conflicts that make characters feel, real.
Makes them relatable, makes you invested in their story.
Absolutely. And sometimes a little humor is the best way to highlight areas where the storytelling could use a little work.
It's feedback, but with a chuckle.
Exactly. Okay, so we've got players questioning motives, comparing goblins to Ferengi entrepreneurs, and even throwing some shade at the writing.
It's a lively debate, that's for sure.
But where does it all lead? Is there a bigger picture here? Is there a reason for this sudden shift in goblin behavior?
Well, that's what we're here to figure out. Let's take a break, and then we'll dive even deeper into the world of goblin politics, cosmic events, and maybe, just maybe, uncover the truth behind this newfound peace.
Sounds like a plan. Stay tuned, folks. Things are about to get interesting. All right, so we've got these goblins acting all out of sorts, less backstabbing, more like business ventures, right? Is this a sign that they've actually changed, or are we missing something?
That's the big mystery, isn't it? The key might be in the current WoW storyline. Remember, we're post-Shadowlands now. That whole expansion threw some pretty heavy stuff at us, like cosmic level threats.
Right. The jailer trying to remake the universe and all that.
Exactly. So the very fabric of reality was at stake.
Yeah, pretty intense stuff. But how does that tie into the goblins? Are they suddenly worried about, universal balance? Have they traded their gold for, self-help books?
Not exactly, but remember, goblins are adaptable. Incredibly so. And they're always looking for an angle, a way to profit.
So maybe the whole Shadowlands thing, it shook things up, created new opportunities?
It's possible. Think about it. Facing a cosmic apocalypse might make you rethink your priorities. Maybe instead of fighting over scraps, they're trying to get a bigger piece of the pie, while the pie still exists.
Makes sense. But what about the Horde? They're the faction the goblins are with, right? Shouldn't they be a little concerned about Gazlowe and everything he's doing? Talk about instability.
Now that's where things get even more interesting. The Horde's lack of response, well, it's got everyone talking.
So it's not just the goblins acting weird.
Right. Some players think it's a sign that the Horde is, maybe getting weak. We're too divided to control its members.
So maybe the Horde leadership's losing their grip? Or are they letting the goblins do their thing on purpose?
It's hard to say for sure, but the Horde, they might be adapting too, the Shadowlands had a huge impact on everyone.
Right, massive changes all around.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe the Horde is shifting focus. Bigger threats, existential stuff. They're leaving the smaller squabbles to sort themselves out.
They've got bigger fish to fry, the universe is ending, and the goblins are over there arguing about, mining rights.
Pretty much. And let's not forget the Horde is a coalition, different races, different goals.
Always some tension there.
Always. So keeping things unified, it's a challenge, especially when the world's going crazy.
Okay, so we've got cosmic threats, shifting priorities, and the Horde's basically you do you, goblins. Anything else we should be considering?
Well, there's one more theory. It's a little speculative, but some players think Blizzard is setting the stage for something big.
Oh, like what?
A goblin-centric storyline? A future expansion, maybe?
Hold on, are you saying we might get a goblin uprising?
No.
A cartel war? A goblin empire?
Who knows? But goblins, they're a fan favorite.
Oh yeah, love those little green guys.
And their lore, it's got so much potential.
Imagine a whole expansion dedicated to the cartels, their schemes, the rivalries, the explosions.
Right. Epic battles, heists, maybe even a trip to Kazan, their homeland. Think about it.
Oh, the possibilities are endless. I'm getting hyped just thinking about it. But, okay, let's bring it back down to earth for a second. We've got all these theories, all these potential explanations. The big question is, does it work? Are players buying into this new goblin thing?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The community is divided. Some love it, some miss the old days.
So it's a gamble, huh? Blizzard's trying something new, and we'll have to wait and see if it pays off.
That's the thing about WoW. It's constantly evolving. Always something new around the corner.
Keeps us on our toes. And speaking of new, remember that Platinum WoW video? Maybe it holds some answers.
Right. Big Phil definitely seemed to think so.
Time to hit the books. YouTube. Let's see what lore secrets we can uncover. All right, so we spent a lot of time in the goblin world, their motivations, their alliances, their potential for, I guess you could say, organized chaos. But why does all this goblin stuff even matter in the grand scheme of things?
You know, what's interesting is it really shows how much players care about the story in WoW. We started with this forum discussion, and it's clear that players, they really want the lore to make sense.
It's like they're saying, hey, we know these goblins. We've fought with them, traded with them, maybe even accidentally blown ourselves up with their gadgets a time or two.
Right. And when the goblins start doing things that don't seem like them, well, it takes you out of the experience a little bit.
It's like watching a movie and suddenly the character starts speaking a different language. You'd be confused, right?
Exactly. And that's the tightrope Blizzard has to walk. Stay true to the lore, but also keep things interesting, you know?
It's like you've got some players who want their goblins to be greedy and scheming and blowing things up. That's what they love.
Right. The classic goblin experience.
But then you've got other players who are like, okay, but what if there's more to them? What if they can change and grow?
And that's what makes this whole discussion so fascinating. It shows how different players connect with the story in different ways.
Some want that comfort food, the familiar, and others are ready for something new, something more.
And Blizzard has to figure out how to please everyone, which, let's be honest, is probably impossible.
Yeah, not an easy task. But I think that's part of what keeps WoW so interesting, right? This back and forth between the developers and the players.
It's a living world, a universe that's constantly being shaped and reshaped by the people who inhabit it.
It's a good reminder that stories are never really finished. They keep evolving, and we get to be a part of that.
So to our listener, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep digging into the lore.
You never know what you might find. Maybe you'll be the one to crack the code, figure out what those goblins are really up to.
Maybe you'll even predict their next move. Until then, may your adventures in Azeroth be profitable, exciting, and, well, you know.
Full of explosions. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. And remember, the world of Azeroth is waiting.